Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Erica and I appreciate you being here. Today we are going to do another unboxing. This is going to be my boxes for I think I've got a couple from August and then from September. I don't have any of my October boxes yet, so that will have to be in the next video. Some of this might be in no particular order. I do also have a couple boxes from the Broken Binding, so I'll probably save those for last and we'll just get started with the monthly boxes. First up is going to be OwlCrate. This is indeed from August, and this is supposed to be an ACOTAR tin. Let's check it out. And this is indeed a tin. It's a cute design. I haven't read A Court of Thorns and Roses. A Court of Thorns and Roses? A Court of Thorns and Roses. But I have read Throne of Glass, but unfortunately, the designs on this mean like nothing to me. But it's cute. I love a tin. You could, on my shelves, I have all kinds of crap. The weird thing though is like this little bag and this little tie came inside, so I'm not sure if they were like supposed to put these in here before they shipped it or not, because otherwise I have no idea what this would be for. Look at this guy, just like a tiny little balm size. Well, it is a balm. It's a solid perfume, if I can get it open. Okay. It smells really good. It says that it's got like bergamot as a note, and like, I love bergamot. Is that how you pronounce it? Is it bergamot or something like that? I don't know. I feel like it's bergamot. Please let me know if I'm wrong, if I've been saying it wrong all these years and it's one of my favorite scent notes. I don't know. How often do you talk about scent notes with people in person though? I don't know. It's bergamot in my mind. Let me know if I'm wrong, but this does smell pretty good. I also love perfume, so I would actually wear this scent. It smells quite nice. It looks like we have another story doorway. I have one from this collection. It's The Hobbit. It's like the door to Bag End. I put it on my bookshelf with like my Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. This one should be from the Chronicles of Narnia. That's cute, and it's actually quite nice quality. Like, this feels like actual wood and it's actual metal. So the Hobbit one was really nice too. Same thing, like it holds up, it's not just like some cheap thing that you're gonna throw on there and then your cat is gonna knock it off and like play with and now it's broken. Is it just my cat? No, I'm pretty sure that's a cat thing in general, but I will find a lovely place for this on my shelf. I collect pins and they generally will send at least one pin in these boxes. This one's very cute. It's from Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Man, this one did not want to focus. So if you can see, it's two little journal pages from Emily Wilde's journal, or her Encyclopedia of Fairies, as it were. I'll be putting this in my little pin display. It wants to keep swinging open though, but that's okay. It's going in the display. It's not like I'm gonna wear it. This is allegedly an annotation kit. I don't annotate very often, but I'm gonna see what exactly they're including for it. Okay, so this is actually something I could use for my annotation, because usually I use like the larger versions of these. These are just like little stickies, right, that you can put in your book. That's generally, if I'm gonna annotate, that's how I do it. So I can definitely use these. I know like annotating has become this big thing, and even when I was in school, I was never really an annotator. I would usually, if I had to take notes or something, like I would take actual notes like in a notebook and keep track of things I found important that way. I guess, I don't know that anybody really taught me how to annotate in like the crazy elaborate ways that a lot of people are annotating now. There's a lot of really like wild and detailed and interesting videos on YouTube if you're interested in learning how to annotate. I probably can't help you with that because, like I said, I just stick little stickies if I'm going to annotate and like stick it on the page, because I'm like, that is something worth paying attention to, I guess. Annotating has come a long way, so if you're very interested in it, take a look through YouTube and get some how-to videos on annotation. And the book for this month, ooh, look at how shiny, is Omen of Ice. First off, they did an absolutely beautiful cover in this. Like, I love it. At first, it seems kind of simplistic, right? Because it's like the white and then the stark blue, but it's absolutely perfect. If you told me to design a winter book, never in my life could I come up with something better than this. I feel like they really nailed it for this cover. We have the end pages. Now I gotta always remember to check the back because sometimes they get me, and the back, yep, see, the back is different in this one. A lot of times they'll make it so you get like a reversible cover as well. My light keeps shifting, and that's because my cat is playing in the blinds, so please forgive the weird like shadow shifting, whatever is going on. We'll blame the cat, all right? Last but not least, the actual book itself, huh? That is beautiful. Very shiny, clearly. Pretty simple edges here, but again, beautiful. The blue is not quite as vibrant on the end as it is here. You can see how vibrant that is. But I feel like, you know what, good color scheme for a winter focused book. What the heck is this book actually about? Let's see. Our main character is a druid who gets assigned to protect the heir to the throne of the Winter Fae. So already just based on that, I'm gonna guess this is gonna turn into some kind of romance. If I had to predict, that would be my guess. Now, the heir doesn't want her protection and she doesn't really like him, but like she's got a job to do. He also might be hiding a dangerous secret that maybe she's gonna discover, and then maybe they're gonna have to band together, and then it's at that point I'm gonna guess that the romance develops. But this actually does sound like one that I would read. Like, it sounds like a fantasy with romance. I guess I would have to read it for sure to find out, but I'm intrigued. So this one I am actually quite interested to read. Next up is the FairyLoot box. This should also be from August. They send me jingle bells. Let's see. Okay, this is actually really funny. They sent me these straws that have like skulls on them. The print is super tiny. I'm gonna see if I can actually get it to focus here because it's like really tiny printed skulls. Kinda. We can kinda see those skulls, right? I could also just keep them in the bag and like hang them from the door because holiday season is coming up, so it'll just sound like sleigh bells. We have a Belladonna tumbler. God knows, I've got like a million tumblers. We'll see. Might end up giving this to one of my friends because truly my cupboard space is running out for tumblers right now. All right, no, I'm actually gonna keep this because I can just add it to my glasses collection rather than like my tumbler collection. In my mind, I feel like I can justify that because I'm like, it's not another tumbler, it's a glass. So it includes a quote from Belladonna. And it says, "You are mine and I am yours, and together this world is ours." Actually, a really, really pretty like floral design on here. So it's not a tumbler. I'm calling it a glass and I'm putting it on my glasses shelf. We also have some Bone Season book tabs. I love this. Apparently August was the month to give little annotation supplies to people. It would help if it wasn't upside down, wouldn't it? Look, I'm not a professional. I'm just holding stuff up to the camera, all right? Nice little ruler and everything. You know, when I was in school, I always wondered, like, so when you would buy a binder, it would come with like that weird little ruler that you would snap into like the clippy things. What are they even called? You know, the binder clippy things. That's their official term in my mind. And I always wondered, like, who's using that ruler? If I'm using a ruler, I got the ruler, the big old plastic thing out, right? And I'm like measuring. Who's using the tiny rulers? Somebody let me know. What do you use them for? If you could, because I mean, I was in school a long time ago. I'm old. I can't remember ever using them for anything else. If you are not as old as me and you actually have memory of what you might have used a tiny ruler for, let me know. We also got some really cool bookends inspired by Gideon the Ninth, which is in fact on my TBR. There's two, obviously, because they're bookends. These are like super nice, sturdy metal. I've been looking for some good bookends. Like, I was able to get the Mistborn ones that were in one of the Brandon Sanderson boxes. So I love those. Those are really cool, but I'm not sure if they're gonna sell them individually. They really should. I feel like people really wanted them. They could probably make a killing, but this is not a video about Brandon Sanderson. My point being, these are some very sturdy, interesting bookmarks, so I absolutely have a use for them. They always send tarot cards in these boxes. These are based on the book that's included here. So we've got King of Stars here. I don't use these as tarot cards. I use them as oversized bookmarks. Like, manufacturers of bookmarks, if you're out there and you're watching this is the size you should be giving to me. I don't want those tiny bookmarks. I want something like ginormous. I don't know why. I don't know why I prefer these, but I do. So please give me more of them. The Bonesmith is the FairyLoot book for the month. They always do just a really beautiful job. Gonna check the back. Gotta check the back. There we go. Not letting me down. And then there's nothing on the back of this. Ooh, I love that. I love the stark green. And then you can reverse it if you want to as well. The reversed image is definitely cooler. Frankly, I will probably switch it out. What the heck is this book about? FairyLoot usually does a good job at summing up the plots in these, so I'm just gonna read what they've told me. Bonesmith is a dark young adult fantasy about a disgraced ghost-fighting warrior who must journey into a haunted wasteland to rescue a kidnapped prince. I love when they send me books that actually sound interesting. That's always a bonus. And I know I've said before, a friend of mine really loves YA and YA fantasy, so after I'm done with these, I'll probably end up lending them to her. I almost missed these because they were stuck to the bottom of the box, so we got some stickers. Doesn't say they're based on anything, just says gothic stickers. I was never goth as a teen. I mean, I don't know, I wasn't cool enough to be goth. I was metal, but just not goth. These are actually like perfect timing. I don't know, if you want some like Halloween stickers. The rest of my boxes, I don't think they're gonna be in any particular order, so we're just gonna venture in. Got a lovely Illumicrate box. I believe this was the September book of the month for Illumicrate, so we have A Study in Drowning. I've been seeing this book get a lot of attention, both on like BookTube and when I've been checking out Instagram. They did a really beautiful job. It's a nice solid cover. I love when they do these. Look, I'm a sucker for books about books. I hope that this book has something to do with books, aside from just being a book. I feel like I've said book a lot here. See, now this one, the end pages are the same, front and back, but I like that I checked. Really beautiful cover. Let's see what the heck this book is about. Our main character is obsessed with a book about a fairy king, and at some point the author of this book dies and she winds up going to his house. His estate has some kind of like contest to redesign his house, and since she's an architecture student, she's participating, but not alone. There's also a rival who shows up and they kind of become adversaries. But it also kind of seems like maybe it's being set up so that they're gonna fall in love. Are they? Probably. OwlCrate redesigned their boxes, I think in September. Personally, I really like the new one. I'm pretty biased because I love blue, but very eye-catching. We got a little packet of tea in here, which I love tea, particularly going into the colder months, so this is perfect timing. I believe it's an English breakfast, and it's inspired by A Discovery of Witches. We have here an adorable little lipstick case inspired by, what is it inspired by? The Whispering Dark. It feels pretty sturdy. You can put in like a couple little lipsticks here, at least two, I guess depending on size. It's actually a really good size. Right now, I usually dedicate one of the pockets in my purses to like lippy products, so maybe I will finally have a tiny little bag that I can dedicate to them instead and kind of keep them organized, because right now they're just like, I throw them in the little pocket, and then I'm invariably like digging in the little pocket to try to get out what I need. The pin this month is based on Babel by R.F. Kuang. Man, these things are always the worst at focusing. I don't know what the problem is, but there you go. We do have a corduroy bag inspired by A Lesson in Vengeance, and I mean, I have to say, look at this. It's a pretty decently sized bag. As I've said many times before, I have like an obsession with tote bags. I have far too many, but it's so funny. You can hear it because it's coated. It's coated in kind of a plasticky. It's actually nice because sometimes if I go to the grocery store, there's stuff that like, I don't know, kind of worried it's gonna leak, so I could just throw it in here. But I'm gonna put this down because it's like crinkly and I'm talking. But it brings back a memory that like totally unlocked. In high school, my purse was corduroy. Look, don't judge me. This was the early 2000s and like it was cool at the time. It was like pink corduroy. I loved that thing. It was like a crossbody bag. Man, I loved it. I might still have it somewhere in like a tote somewhere, but this is adorable, and that's what it reminds me of. So I guess thank you, OwlCrate, for giving me nostalgia for my high school purse. And they love to send these little journals out, which I don't even mind because I love journals. I have a journal obsession as well. So this one is inspired by the Atlas 6. And then inside, it's another one of these where it's kind of like graph paper rather than being lined. Man, the Atlas 6, yet another book on my never-ending TBR. Might even own the Atlas 6. I feel like I got a really good deal on it at some point. It's sitting, pending, waiting to be read, just like every other book that has ever been written that I just haven't gotten around to. All right, so we gotta have a conversation. This is yet another dupe, although while it's usually FairyLoot and OwlCrate doing this to me, this time it's Illumicrate and OwlCrate doing this to me. So because of the dupes that these boxes have been wanting to do, I actually am almost at the end of my YA subscription for OwlCrate. At this point, until they stop doing like so many dupes, I am putting the pause on those subscriptions. So I'm going to continue with the adult ones. But it doesn't make sense to keep getting a bunch of dupes. They didn't used to do it this much. I don't know what the deal is, like why these boxes started switching to like duplicating each other, but frankly, it's really annoying. I really don't care for it. So this is a really beautiful copy though. And it's not just the light that's shiny, it is in fact like a shiny cover. And they did reverse the cover as well. We got going, there we go. We got some end pages. Did they do differently for the back? Let's see. They did. Oh, they're snuggling up together. No edges, no sprayed edges. That's okay. You can't win them all. Once again, I will end up either donating this or I'll see if one of my friends wants it. I know at the end of the year I'm gonna do like a book donation, so if my friend doesn't want this, then it will just go in my donation pile. I believe that this should be the adult book from OwlCrate. Yep, this is the adult book. It's Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. I think they did a really cool job with this design. Just going for like the striking all black. They put cats on the cover, so I'm gonna be reading this. Look at those cats. Look at those cats, that cat pattern. There's the back. And it can be kind of hard to tell. It's black with like the silver foiling. And then we got some really cool portraits going on here inside. The back is in fact the same. They did a cool job though with the author signature page. Talk about goth. This one does have a reversible jacket, but I'm gonna keep the original on here. This book is about a vampire real estate agent who teams up with a medium to sell a haunted house. And another Illumicrate, this one should be for September. This is a really beautiful copy of Zara. And the edges here, the contrast as well, where this is like bright blue and the cover here is like bright red and this is more purple. I love how they did it with such contrast. It's really beautiful. Inside. The back, of course, is the same. No reverse on this one, so just this guy. If you hear a bunch of commotion, that's my cat just playing with the blinds. So our main character lives in a society where magic is forbidden. One day she decides to up and join a magic rebellion group where it's a bunch of people who want to use magic to like fight back some evil forces that are coming around. She might have to kind of save the world, and also it sounds like this is going to be based on elemental magic, which if that is the case, I might move it up on my TBR because I'm participating in the Reddit Fantasy Bingo. One of the squares that I've been having trouble filling is the elemental magic requirement, so I'm going to have to look further into this one and see if I can get someone who can confirm that yes, in fact, this does have elemental magic, because if it does, I will read this for my bingo. And then this box is actually a purchase that's not part of their subscription, but I got it because I had some points to redeem with them. So I believe I basically got this one for free. I decided to grab one of their books that I've been eyeing that I did not get initially. So I picked up The Buried and the Bound. I really like this cover. Like, I've been eyeing this book since it came out, and I felt like the OwlCrate edition looks a lot cooler than the ones that I've found for sale in normal bookstores. Really beautiful dark green. Like, the light in here doesn't do this justice. This is quite a dark green. And the gold foiling is a really nice contrast. Love when you give me different end papers. Oh, and a really cute author signature page as well. And we got a little reverse book cover here. Pretty sure this book came out last year. I feel like it was either last year or maybe the beginning of this year. I don't know. Time has no meaning anymore. So our main character in this is a witch, and she's kind of like a magical guard for her local community, like goes on patrols. She teams up with this dude who is cursed, but it sounds like he also has some magical abilities. They end up having to come together to battle against like a more serious threat and keep their community safe, and also break his curse. And if I had to guess, I would also imagine there's gonna be maybe a romance between them, but prove me wrong, okay? Prove me wrong, but it also seems like that's gonna be included. And the OwlCrate September adult book. This is a really pretty copy of After the Forest. Really simple end pages. It is pretty much just a burnt orange, like how it looks in the camera here. Oh my goodness, very cool book itself. The black with the green. I love this color of foiling. This looks really stunning in real life. Also really like the drawing style in this. Kind of like, oh gosh, am I really gonna call it old-fashioned drawing style? Have we gotten that old where stuff that's even like, this was super common in like 90s Disney movies, right? Now I'm like, yeah, it's old-fashioned. Oh Lord. And again, really beautiful author signature page as well. Okay, they did like a really cool flip side to the book cover. Overall, A+ design on this book for sure. And as I started to read the synopsis, I realized, indeed, this is a book that I put onto my anticipated releases list, so I'm very excited to have it. It shows what happened to Hansel and Gretel after they grew up. So this is an adult story, follows Hansel and Gretel and all of the issues that they've got, the things they deal with now, after almost being eaten by a witch in the forest. But this shouldn't just be like, you know, coping with trauma, like, I don't know, Hansel and Gretel go to therapy, because there should be some fantasy elements too. So I've been excited to read this one, and I got a really cool copy of it. And for the last of the subscription boxes that I've got for this video, I've got the FairyLoot September adult box. This is a really stunning copy of Son of Blood and Ruin. My cat has decided to join us, so you might hear her continuing to play around down here. Beautiful cover. And then look at this. Look at that little bird. That is adorable. Again, such a beautiful design that they did. Mad props to you, FairyLoot. This book looks so beautiful. They do give you the option, of course, to flip the cover, but the original, I think, is the superior cover. But you know what? It's nice to have options in life. All right, sum it up for me succinctly, FairyLoot. Son of Blood and Ruin is a gender-bent Zorro fantasy retelling featuring a heroic warrior sorceress, a pursuit of justice, shape-shifting, and Mesoamerican mythology. That's all for my subscription boxes. Let's get into the broken binding shipments. So I've got 3 of these guys. Sometimes they make you guess what book they're sending to you because they just put like Dragon's Hoard on it, but no, this one is the Judas Blossom. This one is even more beautiful in person than it looked online. It's just this really deep, you can see it's such a deep, rich blue. It almost looks black. We got the back. Beautiful job. I mean, Broken But they always do a beautiful job, right? That's what makes their books so damn tempting. I don't know how long this series is going to be, but it is in fact going to be a series. So this book is going to be a fantasy retelling of the Mongols' invasion of Persia. I like historical fiction, I like historical fantasy, and I've been eyeing this one for quite a while. All of the praise for this book really has my hopes up high, and I'm hoping it lives up to those expectations. See, look at this little baby! See though, this is what I mean. You just get like the dragon sword, right? And you're like, what did I order? Because I placed this order like 5 months ago. I know what this one is, just because of the size of it though. I got Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. Really, once again, man, Broken Binding, you keep sucking me back in. Every time I think I'm out, you create yet another beautiful book, and I'm like, no, I have to buy that. I have to buy it. Really simple but beautiful outside. It looks brighter, I think, in the camera than it is in real life. In real life, it's a very deep purple. Just a little tower. Just a little tower. Same in the back. I hesitate to break the binding yet, ironically, because this is from the Broken Binding, but man, this binding is tight, and I'm like, that's my cat. It's my cat playing in the book wrapping. I hesitate to break it before I've even started to read it, so I'm like, here, look at my book. After all those like giant honkin' books that I got through the rest of this video, I'm like, this is so tiny. How many pages is this? Because I do have a novella requirement for my Reddit bingo. Maybe this would count. It's gonna count, I think, for a novella. Yes, it's 124 pages. I'll have to double check the page requirement, but I'm pretty sure this will count. So you know what? I get to bump this up because I'm gonna read it, I think, as part of my Reddit fantasy bingo. You know what? The synopsis here is short, so let me just read it. Meet Toadling. On the day of her birth, she was stolen from her family by the fairies, but she grew up safe and loved in the warm waters of fairyland. Aww. Once an adult, though, the Fae ask a favor of Toadling. Return to the human world and offer a blessing of protection to a newborn child. Simple, right? If only. Centuries later, a knight approaches a towering wall of brambles where the thorns are as thick as your arm and as sharp as swords. He's heard there's a curse here that needs breaking, but it's a curse Toadling will do anything to uphold. So it should be Rapunzel, but from a different point of view. This helps me not at all. So this is the copy of The Witness for the Dead and The Grief of Stones. Really? I mean, I feel like it's simple, but it's just, I don't know, it's just really beautiful design. The edge here kind of complements it as well. A little airship. Just a little airship. I'm so excited right now. Look at this map. Thank you. Thank you, Broken Binding. I don't know how many times I have to say, I love a map. Every book, give me a map. I will be very happy if you do. I don't even care what the map is, if it's even that important for the story. Don't care. Give it to me. This is set in the same world as The Goblin Emperor, which, gosh, I did read like when it came out, but unfortunately I did not get the really cool copy from the Broken Binding, but that's okay. I've got this one. That's all that I've got. That's all in my boxes. That felt like a lot, and it was a lot. Now I have to really build my new shelf because I literally don't have room for these books on the ones that I've got right now. So I do have a shelf waiting to be built, and I guess it's time. I've got to carve out some time, like on a weekend or something maybe. I don't know, my weekends get super busy though in the fall. Like I feel like my weekends are usually pretty busy in the summer with different things, but in the fall they're pretty busy too. Maybe I can hold off until like, I don't know, late December or January or something when it's actually too cold to go and do anything. Maybe then, maybe I'll just maintain a stack of books until then, and I can actually take like an afternoon and build a shelf. I guess we'll see. Do you have any of the subscription boxes that I've gone through today or from the past few months? Are you excited about any of the books? Do you have plans to subscribe to any of the boxes? I mean, they're hit or miss, you know? I find most of the time though, a lot of the books that I get are worthwhile, are books that I had on my radar anyway, so it really just depends. We'll see if I have better luck though in maybe moving away from like the actual full like YA boxes from OwlCrate and FairyLoot right now until they get their shit together and stop sending out dupes of each other, because that is annoying. It's not annoying for my friend who's been getting my dupes, but it's annoying for me as the person paying for it. I don't know when that changed, like why they changed. They didn't, I feel like they really didn't used to do that, but it's been too many times this year, so I'm just moving away from it for now. I'll keep an eye on it though. I'll see if they go back to like not duping each other. If they go back to the way that it used to be, where there weren't really dupes, then I will resubscribe to those. But as of right now, I think I'm just going to maybe try my luck with their adult subscriptions instead. See if maybe I can get away with fewer or no dupes by trying that route for the time being. So that's all that I've got for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. I'll see you next time. Thanks.